Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Exploring Beyond the Gates. I'm Kristen Fulton, and we are almost a full 2 weeks into Beyond the Gates. And it is juicy, it's steamy, it's spicy, it's everything that I want in a soap opera and more. I'm really excited to talk with you all today. We got a lot to recap. We got to talk about that cliffhanger Friday. We got to talk about that damn wedding, that damn Dani. Oh my gosh. So, I, let's just go back to last Friday because I was like, dang, I gotta release this video on a different day because I feel like having that cliffhanger Friday and not being able to talk to y'all about it for like almost a week is killing me. When she, first of all, we all knew what was in that hat box. We all knew, especially after coming. Let me back up. Let me back up because when Homegirl went over to Bill's house to beg his trifling ass to take her back, I was like, I just couldn't. I was like, girl, why are you doing this? Pick your head up. He is nothing. He is trash. But she went over and she begged him, and I felt so awful watching it. Talk about secondhand embarrassment. I was like, oh, I feel so embarrassed for her. Because A, she could do better, and also I know this man is going to throw it in her face, which he did. So when she went home and got the hat box, we all knew what was in the hat box, okay? We knew. And then when she got to that wedding and they said, does anybody object? And she said, I do. First of all, I thought this has got to be a dream sequence. Like when we got the cliffhanger, I was like, this is a dream sequence. She's going to, on Monday, it's going to be like a whole daydream. She thought she was going to do this thing. Nope. Michelle was like, gotcha. That's what you thought, but it ain't what happened. And she actually pulled out a gun, a weapon on these two. I mean, they deserved it. They really did deserve it. But she pulled out an actual weapon on these two and took their asses to town. Okay, so one of my favorite parts was she said, get on your knees and beg. And I was like, get on your knees and beg. Now, Hayley, I got words for her in a minute. She ain't do it. But then Bill was like, oh, I'm a, pretend to get on my. I was like, sir, after seeing some other stuff this week, I'm like, you gonna get on your knees one way or another, if you know what I mean. You gonna get on your knees for Dani. Let's be real, let's be honest about that. But yeah, so her with the gun and everybody, it was a mess. And of course she was gonna get out of it. I mean, they're the Duprees. They have set this family up. We know that they are quote unquote untouchable until somebody gets pushed way too far and then they become touchable, which is part of the game. It's like the soap story. Like they're untouchable until they're not. One of my favorite moments, two things about this moment. When Hayley came out and everybody stood up on her side for the bride, and none of the women stood up, but first of all the men standing up, I was like, oh, chivalry is not dead. Thank you for having home trained, well trained men. But then when Miss Anita looked at Vernon and her eyes said, if you don't sit your ass down, that's what her eyes said. And I was like, yeah, sit down. Ain't nobody getting up for this trollop, this thing, this child bride. That was hysterical. I died. In fact, I might need to go watch that one part over again because it was just, she looked like, oh no, you don't sit your behind, sit. You know when people talking to you with their eyes, they don't say a word. Just that was hysterical. I loved that moment. I was like, Miss Val Jean did not come to play. We are here to work. Put the work in, and they are. The wedding was fire. Those 2 days, great. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I will also say that Monday's episode felt really smooth. Like, I know that there were some things, editing and all that jazz for the first week. They're feeling their way, they're getting their way. It's a soap opera, it's new team, brand new soap. Everybody has to figure things out. Monday felt like I was like, the contrast of like this really heightened wedding, then that crazy behind Dana Leslie. And then we got Ashley and the Andre and his community penis. Um, it was a nice contrast of having like all this up and then middle and back and forth energy of back and forth. So I thought it really felt really good. And I was like, oh, for me, Monday felt like I was watching soap operas with my grandmother again, because it was that moment where you kind of like settle in and you just watching and you and then you go back, you looking at something else happen, you're like, while all this nonsense is happening, these people on this side are doing a whole bunch of nonsense mess that's going to come up and become the big A storyline eventually. And so it felt really good and felt really like a really good flow to me. So I really loved and appreciated that aspect of Monday. And then the rest of the week was really lovely. I absolutely love how, you have to introduce this core family. You have to really give them all the attention, but slowly we're starting to get them on different days. They're not always all together. We're starting to get the smaller storylines that are going to blow up eventually. The things, with the young girls. We're gonna talk about them girls, those young girls, and we get the side storylines with Ashley and Derek and Andre, and that daggone Shanice. I like her. She is gonna be trouble. One day I'm not gonna like her, but for now I like her. She stay on the phone. She stay in people's business, gossiping. I mean, she does her work. That's the thing I like. She does her work. She not gonna do her work, but she also like, listen, I'm here for the tea, and so I love that aspect of it, and I think having that sort of commentary, because that's who we are. We are the people who are not inside the gates. We are literally watching. We're inside of it because of a screen, but in reality, we are watching this lavish lifestyle, and that's what she's doing. She's watching it, and so she gets to be the everyman, which I absolutely adore. I also love that little trio I told y'all last week, a little trio at Orphe Jeans, where they were just cackling and talking about stuff. This week, they were going, Dana Leslie and Ashley's mama were talking hard about Dani and Hayley and Bill and all that stuff, and I found that to be really good. And of course, I'm gonna call her Miss Mona, because that's what she is. She's Miss Mona. She's not Mona. She's Miss Mona. Miss Mona, God bless her heart. She was like, Nicole just worked. She was going hard for her boss, and I was like, you know what? I like her. She gonna get burned one day, but I like her a lot. And I just love having like the regular people cackling about these rich, wealthy people who seem to have it all and are still acting a hot mess. Side note, at the wedding, did nobody tell Martin that the color was black? Why did he have on a green suit? Sir, the color was black. BLACK, black, not green. I'm like, why are you the only one out here mix matching? It did not work. Which brings me to Martin to begin with. Homeboy is getting on my nerves. I'm just like, first of all, when all that stuff at the wedding was going on, he was not worried about his Aunt Dani. He was worried about himself as a congressman. I was like, well, dang, you literally have watched your aunt lose her mind, and all you can think about is, oh, how's it going to affect me and my constituents and my poll and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dang, your aunt is losing her freaking mind. She done pulled a gun out in a whole room full of random people. That was a mess. And I was like, Martin. And then this whole thing with Smitty, I'm like, the man can't work. Why can't he work? Let him work. I understand you want this perfect little lifestyle, whatever, but he can go to work. He can take assignments and do stuff. He does not have to be the house husband forever, okay? The kids are about to be out the house anyway, so what is the point? He was just getting on my nerves a lot this week, and then he got mad at Smitty because Smitty talked to Nicole. I was like, this MF here. Oh, Martin, I'm getting real spoiled vibes, entitled vibes. I'm getting very selfish vibes from him. Good character development. But I was like, you getting on my nerves. I don't like you. Don't like you at all right now. We'll see how he fares coming up. But I was like, sir, you need to fall all the way back. It's not your world and everybody else is living in it, okay? You are just part of a group of people, and you have to do your part and they have to do their parts. Husbands included. I was like, and you showed up with the wrong color on, Martin. Pick the right color. Then maybe you could have a bigger say. Back to my notes here. What else was I going to say? I'm going to jump around a little bit. Since we're talking about Martin, let's stick with the Richardson family. Lil Cat, what is her job? I think she's so cute, so adorable, great. I'm like, oh, homegirl is wonderful, like actress-wise too. I was just like, great, someone who's their first job. You can tell that these girls are working. They are taking this seriously. They are about that life. They are not out here partying. They are learning their lines. They are showing up. They are on their marks. Great, wonderful. But I'm like, what is your job? She seems to be running everybody's life. I'm like, are you an executive, like, concierge or something? What does she do? Obviously, she comes for money. She's a socialite, but she has this venture with her cousin Chelsea, who homegirl felt so bad about. Why were you live streaming at the wedding? It was not your fault that your mother acted a mess. Your fault was, why the hell was you live streaming? I don't care if it's your brand. We are not legitimizing Bill and Hayley with you live streaming and putting on your platform. Hell no. That's the part I was like, why was you even on there in the first place? That's the part that made me mad. But anyway, back to Kat. So Kat is going to be in this co-business venture with Chelsea. She, I don't know, runs everybody else's life. Her mom, her dad. She recommends things for her dad's practice. She has her hands all up and through with Nicole's staff, or I don't know. So it's interesting to me because I'm like, maybe she's just a socialite and she picks and chooses what she wants to do, which is her prerogative, because trust me, we've had many of those on other shows. But I was just like, what do you do? I don't know. I mean, you don't have to make money. You have money. I'm sure there's a trust fund. I'm sure there's an inheritance. So I'm just like, what do you do with yourself all day? Because everybody else seems to have a job. Dani is momager. Chelsea is working as a model. Naomi is a lawyer. Your mom and dad are both doctors. Your brother is a congressperson. And I'm like, what do you actually do for work? But I digress. Just questions. I'm curious. And she don't have to do a thing. That's the great thing about it. She don't have to do a daggone thing. And you go, girl. Now, Nicole, I'm going to need you to come to the front of the congregation because we're going to have a little talk here. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to watch all that go down with my sister and have all these young things running around my house and my practice around my husband like that. Laura, I am sorry you done got in this accident. Here is your severance pay. You're going to have to find yourself another job. Ava, thank you for coming in for the interview, but you're too young, you're too put together. Things hug you in all the right places, and I can't have that around my husband. Miss Mona, if you got any more friends, maybe from your church house, who wear hats and white stockings, bring them in for an interview. They can have the job, but y'all little young things, I'm sorry, y'all can't be. Ain't no way in hell I'ma watch all that happen and be like, oh yes, little young things, come on in. She don't know that girl's her husband's daughter. She don't know nothing about them. All she know is they young, pretty, and snatched. And why would you? It's not about trusting your husband. It's about not giving them opportunities to try him. Okay? Okay? You can trust him all you want. Them little things, you can't trust them. Obviously, Hayley done taught us that. That little thing done taught us real good. Don't. So Nicole, Kat said it, and I was glad she did it, because I said to I was like, ain't no way. I do trust my husband. It's the other ones I don't. Okay, we'll need you to be tempted. We'll need them to try anything. We'll need to find you in compromising positions because they put you in them and you were trying to back off and you're like, no. But here I walk in and they all up in your face. We don't need that. We don't need that, sir. Yeah, Nicole, get rid of them girls. But she gonna be in a rude awakening. And then I'm also trying to figure out, Eva, is she older than Martin? Because it seems like Dana Leslie met Ted and then he got with Nicole, which would mean she was pregnant before. So Eva has to be a couple years, at least 1 or 2 years older than Martin, which again, the black ain't cracking the way we need it to. So I don't believe that. But I also don't believe this whole cockamamie story that Dana Leslie has pulled together. I'm like, there's no way that he just saw y'all and looked right past. Like he must not know you. It had to have been, what, a one-night stand, and you caught feelings and he didn't. You thought it was something more and it wasn't. Y'all was in Hawaii. Y'all saw each other. Y'all had a night together, but then he saw Nicole the next day. Because that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, I don't understand. And you didn't tell him about this girl. You did not tell him. She is going to be pissed at you when she find out that you ain't tell her father about her. Cause I'm like, something right here, Dana Leslie, and you're not a reliable source. Let's just say that you ain't a reliable source. But child, if she ain't a good kind of crazy, I love her so much. She walking around there talking to herself, and she got the little eyes, and she's plotting and just thinking, and oh, in your father's house. I love it. So good. Okay, can we talk about moving away from the Richardson clan, which wonderful, lovely, love it. I still love all of it. Um, can we ooh, I got all these notes here about the Hamilton folks. I don't even know where to start. Let's start here. When are we gonna see Naomi and Hayley have a smackdown? Because that is the one. Right now, Dani has been the scorn woman running around town pulling out guns on people, yada yada yada. But Naomi is the ooh. She to me, I'm like, she seems like that girl. She seems like that girl that is good. I want to have the two of them in a room, and I want Naomi to go to town. And I don't mean like physically fighting her. I mean to use the eloquent verbiage and just like drag her to hell, drag her for filth. I am waiting for that moment because as my friend, as my very best friend, as my good friend who I invited, as my friend who I treated like a sister, that. And now what? You're my stepmother? Yeah, I want to see that moment, and I hope it is everything and more than what I can even imagine. Because I think that deserves space and time. That is, I mean, to have someone that you openly, when you have family, it's a little bit different. They break your heart, yes, but you didn't choose to be in relationship with them. You were put in relationship with them because of your DNA or because of, just the becoming a family, maybe adoption or something. I'm thinking of, not just DNA. But if I open my heart, my home, my family, knowing that this clan is super protective and fierce and, like revered, and I open my family up to you and you do me dirty like this, Naomi, get her. Get her, get her, get her, get her, get her. That would piss me off. Like, not just piss, that would gut me, right? Like, so I'm ready for that smackdown because I think it's well overdue for us to see on the screen. And I also happen to think they're gonna kill that work. Like that scene, those scenes, oh, I can't wait. So while I'm still on Naomi, girl, you should just draw up these divorce papers now. Cause y'all ain't gonna make it. Lil Jacob, and I'm gonna call him Lil Jacob because that's what he acting like. Lil Jacob, what family did you marry into, sir? I know you have sworn to protect and serve, but what family, sir? Y'all ain't gonna make it. And I feel like she is trying her damnedest to be so supportive of him. And I hope that's part of like where their story goes of like her always trying to compromise and having to compromise and be the supportive police detective's wife and all that stuff, knowing good and damn well that the Duprees will do what they have to do, legal or not, to stay, stay on top. So, Lil Jacob, just go on ahead and get your divorce papers, cause sir, y'all not gonna make it. It was nice while it lasted. It was. It was nice, but y'all ain't gonna make it, all right? Yeah. I don't know who would I want Naomi with. There's not on on the canvas right now. No, but eventually, because it's gonna be a slow fall. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, whew, this is just it's not gonna work. Just think it's not gonna work. Oh my gosh, they trying though. They trying. They got the little foursome with Ashley and Derek, and Ashley. We already know what's gonna happen. She going over there to Andre with his community penis, and I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know why he's so obsessed with her. I honestly don't. But whatever. They can have that storyline. Okay. Now we're continuing to circle around to our Hamilton family. I'm looking at notes, y'all. I'm looking at my notes. So, oh, side note, Chelsea is gonna mess around and go to bed with the wrong couple. I'm like, girl, you should be laying low. You done live stream by accident this whole thing. Y'all done had the press conference. I told my sister, I said, I'm gonna need you to be ready for a press conference tomorrow because we need to have a press conference. I was like, they got a press conference in the middle of the night. I loved it. Loved it. Anyway, I'm like, girl, you going to bed with the wrong couple. I love that they are modernizing these young people because young people are doing so, like, it's the reason that I cannot and will, I refuse to watch Euphoria. I know it's good. Everyone says it is, but I'm just like, I am just, I'm like, I'm young. I'm still young, but I'm also not that young. I'm like, I just can't watch. They do so much stuff, and I don't want to know because I can't. Oh, I'm a millennial, and I'm like, y'all scare me, y'all little young things. And I'm like Chelsea, so I love that they are like giving her this storyline of just like, yeah, she's into thruples, and I don't know, maybe she's into polyamory or who, I don't know yet. It's too soon to know exactly how to label it. If we're labeling anything, we don't have to label it. We could just say she just, does what she wants to do. So I love that they're giving this to her as part of her character development. But I'm like, girl, you need to be laying low right now. You're not supposed to be out here. You don't know what these people. You are too famous right now, and your mama is too hot, and they will do anything to get to the mama, and that means going through you. But yeah, but I mean, she'll. Ooh, that's gonna be a good one when she go to bed with the wrong couple or the wrong person. Ooh, love it, love it, love it. It's not your grandmama soap opera. Okay, I'm holding it. I'm holding it, y'all, because y'all want to talk about Bill and Dani. Y'all, I know y'all do. Okay, let's address several things. The first is the chemistry between Bill and Dani in that flashback. Thank God for that flashback. We needed that. I hope we get more. But I was like, oh, I actually like them. They were so good. I like them together as a couple. I was like, oh my God, I'm rooting for this little couple here. I was like, there's no way that we are not going to see them together at different points and such throughout, this series, obviously. They're gonna break up, get back together. The family's gonna hate it. They're gonna elope, I'm sure, one day. The kid's gonna be like, are you crazy? Do you know what this man did to you? Do you know we had to watch you go through? But the chemistry, I was like, damn, they are hot. They are fire. It was so good to watch them. Like, I was like, whew. Okay, let's talk about the substance of what that flashback was. They had just returned home after Naomi's wedding. In my mind, this is not corroborated yet. We don't know, but I'm like, I feel like Naomi and Jacob are newlyweds, right? Did I make that up, or did I get like a hint of that from the opening, from the first episode? I feel like they're newlyweds. I'm like, they couldn't have been married for more than like a year. I don't think they've been married for like a couple of years. That feels wrong. I could be wrong about that, but it just doesn't feel right. So I'm like, this man said all the things, all the right things, made the apology, acknowledged the things that he took from her in pursuit of his own dream and happiness, vowed to make it up to her, to love her, even past all of his infidelity. He acknowledged the other infidelities. And all of this, in my mind, I'm like, it had to have been like a year ago. It could not have been that long ago. Not for this woman to be acting like this. Absolutely not. So I'm like, how did we get from that to where we are now? And I think that will inform a lot about why Homegirl has lost it. Because I watched it and I was like, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? You are Mr. Perfect, Mr. Wonderful. Were you just playing a game? Was this something like, were you sleeping with Hayley the whole time while you were saying these things and it's just really a sick game to you? But, sir, how did we get from there to where we are now? Because it doesn't track. It does not make sense. What happened? And from the relationship that we see between Bill and Hayley, he groomed that little girl. I believe he went after that little girl, little disgusting thing. Thought of her as a daughter, but then you want to go sleep with somebody that you think of as a daughter. So cause she does not know little baby don't know where she is. She don't know what game she playing. She really don't know. The man took her on her wedding night, still in her wedding dress, to the press conference of his ex in laws to make a point. He moved her into this gated community, even though she did not want to. She wanted to live outside the gates. He moved her inside this community because he wanted to have the wedding at the country club because meanwhile she's feeling insecure about she don't know, she really don't know where she is. It's making me like the character of Hayley in a way that I really do not want to. But the fact that I just look at her, I'm like, naive is not even a good enough word. Because little baby just has no idea where she is. I'm like, girl, he is running circles around her. She thinks that she is in for this fairy tale, and Dani warned her. It's not everything you think it is, and you will soon find out. Because now he's gotten his new model. He's traded up. He leased Dani, and now he's got a new model. I mean, I really don't want to like Hayley at all. And when I say like, I am still Team Dani. I will always be Team the wife. Let's get that straight. But the character of Hayley, I'm like, last week I told y'all that I didn't know who I wanted to hurt more. Now I know. I want Hayley to do something that's going to crush Bill. Because this man is I'm like, he groomed her. He's like a predator. He saw what he wanted. He went after it. He very much cultivated everything around it. And if we ever get any backstory on how they got together, I feel good that that's probably how they're going to shape it. Because I'm like, little baby has no idea. She lost. She lost. I mean, every time she's on, I laugh because I'm like, girl, you can't see this? You just that in love? I mean, she young and dumb, so yes, but she just that in love. I'm like, oh, girl. Yes, I wrote down, hate that I like her, but I'll still be Team Dani. You know, Dani's up here. Hayley, you're like here. Bill is he not even in frame. Not in frame at all. So that's how it is. But yes, a little baby that don't know where she is. She really don't know where she is. And then okay. I'm gonna leave it there. I want to say congratulations to Jamie Giddens, who is on his way over to Beyond the Gates. Congratulations, brother. I am so happy that you are joining this amazing writing team. This week we got to see the other writers in the credits now. And it was so funny. I was listening to another podcast and they were like, the episode with Shoot 'em Ups Bob Guza, and I was like, oh, yes, because you know, if you a GH fan, then you know. Guza love a little splash, love a little fire, gunfire. So that was I'm very excited just that the show is taking off in such a beautiful way. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. I have been listening to so much commentary about the show because I'm excited, like everybody else is. And I just want to say this, that I love the comparisons, you know, that are out there. Oh, Dani is the Black Erica Kane, yada, yada, yada. And I even found myself doing it because I was like, do I see like Catherine Chancellor and Jill Foster happening here? And then I had to stop myself because I was like, Michelle Valjean has been in this game for a long time. She knows every trope. She knows every arc. She knows all the structure. She knows all the character archetypes. She knows them. And this is her moment. And she's a Black woman. And Black woman to Black woman, we do things, we do things way better. So I'm just like, she is going to surprise us in so many ways. And I'm like, I think we gotta let these comparisons go. Black Erica Kane, okay. Nope. Dani is her own. She is bigger. She's better. She is the moment, you know? And so I'm like, Catherine Chancellor, Jill Foster, I'm like, nope, I'm letting that go. I think that this group of writers with Michelle at the head is going to take everything that we know about our soap operas and say, this is what you expected, and we're gonna go in a whole nother direction. Just like that dream sequence, because so many people were like, oh, it's probably a dream, it's probably a dream. It wasn't a dream. They just did it full out on week one and then came back in week two and kept going. So I think that if we toss those comparisons out the window, let's give these people their own space in history and in time because they deserve it already. I think we are going to be surprised in the most wonderful, delicious, pleasant way. And so that's just kind of like my PSA because I was like, no, no, no. Dani's not the Black Erica Kane. Dani's better because this is where Dani is starting. And we get to grow with her to new heights. Remember where Erica Kane started, okay? And this is not like I don't even want to do this. I don't want to compare. I don't because I don't like comparing women. I really don't, especially black women. I will not compare black women. We're not gonna rank them. We're not gonna do it side by side. I'm not doing that. But women in general, I'm like, no, there's plenty of room for all of us to have our own lanes and spaces and like build each other up. So put her on the same pedestal. She's not the black version of it. She is her own. Dani is the Dani of the Dani, okay? So, yes, I'm excited to keep on dissecting with y'all. I know I talked a lot today, but I had a lot to say. We got another cliffhanger coming up today, Friday. That is the day that this is going to be released. Cliffhanger Friday. I might have to start releasing these episodes a little bit earlier in the week so that we can get to the cliffhanger a little bit sooner. Love it. And, the title of today's podcast is going to be Woman to Woman, I'll Settle for You. I was like, done. Oh my gosh, I love Beyond the Gate so much. Leave some notes, some thoughts, some love in the comments, whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to talk about. You want to challenge anything that I've said, you go right on ahead. Let's have a nice, fun, festive debate. And let's keep watching, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.